Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Joy News. Today, we're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We're on DTT because we're free to air on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 144. Joy News, your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Coming up this afternoon, North Tong MP Samuel Okujeto-Ablakwa is a free man as High Court dismisses contempt case filed against him by Reverend Kusi Boateng. We have details as Reverend Boateng is asked to pay 10,000 as cost to the legislator.
We want to assure you that we remain unperturbed. We have rather been motivated by the series of developments, the attempt to gag us. We have our resolve strengthened, and the Ghanaian people can expect even a more determined and dogged effort.
Also, 15 out of 20 banks which have released their 2022 audited financial statement register losses. What does this mean for the banking sector and the country as a whole? We'll find out shortly. And 119 criminal cases involving 727 accused persons currently pending before the courts across the country since January 2021. We have details of the concerns raised by the Attorney General. And on your election headquarters, the NDC primaries will be in focus. We'll take you to Bosomifreho, where the constituents are suspecting foul play after the vetting committee suspended the process, the clear issues surrounding the membership of Godfred Al-Hassan. We have business, world news, sports, showbiz, all coming up this hour. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Do stay for details. The High Court has today dismissed a contempt case brought against North Tong MP Samuel Okujeto-Ablakwa. The court says evidence presented by Reverend Boateng is fraught with inconsistencies and doubt. It therefore fails to meet the legal standard of proof beyond reasonable doubt. Joy News' legal correspondent Joseph Akable was in court and spoke with the North Tong MP and the NDC's General Secretary Fifi Kwete, who was there to lend support to his colleague. Daily apologize for the breaking sound. We can now go and hear from Okujeto-Ablakwa and the NDC General Secretary Fifi Kwete.
First of all, thank the Almighty for this significant juncture in the series of exposés that we have been carrying out. I would also like to thank the National Democratic Congress, led by our General Secretary. You have seen former ministers, Dr. Omane Boama. You have seen the regional wing of our party, led by our Chairman, Agbavito. You've seen the North Tong support, led by our Chairman CKT, Queen Mothers, the Chiefs, constituency executives, and most importantly, my colleagues in the House who have really stood by me throughout. I would like to thank all of them, and also the people of Ghana who have remained resolute behind the truth and behind justice. Clearly, the judgment is very sound. You see that even in the case that they brought, it was fraught with all kinds of inconsistencies, irregularities. You had the erudite judgment of the respected judge. At this point, we want to make it clear that what we are doing by way of exposing the rot and the canker is not just for partisan gain, as our General Secretary has said. It's about the soul of our country. It's about truth, it's about justice, and it's about protecting the public purse. We cannot have people conduct themselves in ways that brings not only our country, but even the Christian faith into disrepute. People hiding under the cover of religion to perpetrate crime. We cannot accept that. And that is what continues to drive us. So we want to assure you that we remain unperturbed. We have rather been motivated by the series of developments, the attempt to gag us. We have our resolve strengthened, and the Ghanaian people can expect even a more determined and dogged effort to expose the rot, the canker, do what is right, and make sure that at the end of the day, it is the preservation of our democracy, the preservation of justice, of freedom and accountability that reigns supreme. So we thank you very much. We thank you in the media also for all the support that you have given us. The battle continues, and we pray that the good Lord will continue to bless our efforts. Thank you very much.
We actually were in no doubt at all. We knew truth was definitely going to prevail. It was clearly an exercise in futility, a waste of everybody's time, an attempt to stop what we knew was just truth. And it's sad that this country has to be reduced to this level where people who are doing what is right have to be literally put into this whole exercise. Their time is wasted. Attempt is even made to create the impression that they actually are the criminals, when actually it's the reverse. We can only say that for us, it's basically justice done, which is expected to be. And we expect the people of Ghana to take clear inspiration from this and to know that between now and 2024, everything must be done to expose all the lies that are going on, bring out all the criminalities that are going on without any fear, knowing that truth will definitely always be vindicated.
I mean, even before coming to court today, he caused another publication, continuing with what he says is exposing the rot. Is this something that the party is solidly behind him and the party is taking an interest in how this goes, or we just see him leading a one-man crusade? No,
absolutely, it's not a one-man crusade at all. I mean, what he's doing is effectively doing on behalf not just of the party, on behalf of the people of Ghana, and for us that is even more important. I mean, to do what it is, not simply because you are looking for partisan interest, but because you are pushing for something that actually makes the country better, a country that becomes sanitized. And so it really is a great crusade, and the party is absolutely proud of it. I'll continue to stand right by him. That's why I'm here representing the party, to simply let the country know that, listen, we will not allow any of our people who especially are doing what is right, I mean, to stand alone at all.
Away from the court to Parliament, Parliament may today approve an additional tax bill after MPs were recalled by Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin for an emergency sitting. Tall on the agenda for the House is a number of loan agreements and another outstanding tax bill, the Excise Stamp Amendment Bill. Let's go to Parliament and speak with Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante, who's joined us with details. Kweku, what is this outstanding tax bill all about?
So the Excise Stamp Amendment Bill 2022 came with the 2023 budget, but has not been passed. It was part of the taxes that Parliament expected to consider together with the Growth and Sustainability Levy and all those other specific tax bills that were passed by Parliament. You would know that when you buy some excise goods like bottled water, canned drinks, you will see that there's a stamp on it, which allows government to be able to track the number of bottles that have been sold and how much revenue should be coming into government. Government is seeking to review that law to include a new set of goods and other things that would attract these taxes. The minority have been opposed to it somewhat, and that is why it has delayed for some time now. And so government is seeking through this emergency meeting of Parliament today to be able to get this through.
What are the other loan agreements to be considered, Kweku?
So it's a tall order. We have a loan agreement to finance the COVID-19 Emergency Preparedness and Response Project, financing agreement to finance the West Africa Food System Resilience Program, on lending for the establishment of Development Bank Ghana, loan facility agreement to be relocated for the construction of the bypasses on the Accra-Kumasi Road, loan agreement to finance the medical equipment provision project in response to COVID-19. So a number of them just gone by on the floor. The one having to do with $150 million to finance the West Africa Food System Resilience Program has been moved. It was moved by the chairman of the committee, Kupi Patin, and he made it clear that at the committee level, the minority MPs voted against the $1 million loan. And so they are seeking the approval by majority decision. On the floor, it has been split by party decisions and party lines. We've heard so far from Haruna Idrisu, John Dinapo, who have been speaking for the minority, together with Eric Opoku, who say that because of Ghana's current debt distress position, they are unable to support this, whilst the majority side says, despite the challenges with getting Ghana's debt to a certain appreciable and sustainable limit, there is still the need for some of these loan agreements to go through because government needs them to be able to run government. And so it is split. Very soon we expect the question to be put, and then we'll see what happens.
It does really look like a tall agenda. And of course, we know Parliament is expected to sit for only a day. Can they finish up, on time?
Well, so when the Deputy Majority Leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, read the business statement for this emergency sitting, he made it clear that the expectation is that they'll be able to do all these businesses and take and go back for that break that they have been on. But the expectation is that they'll be able to do so. Normally, for such emergency sitting, they'll probably sit through the night and make sure that they are able to deal with some of these key businesses.
Well, our eyes are on Parliament. Kwasante with those details. Definitely, we have more from Parliament in our subsequent bulletins as the parliamentarians meet over these emergency bills. Now, let's get to other stories. The integrity of the SIM card re-registration exercise has been called into question by some Ghanaians who have found their Ghana cards linked to several unapproved numbers without their knowledge. Government commenced the mandatory exercise in 2021, hoping to put together a proper SIM card registry. But people are beginning to realize that other numbers are being linked to their cards without permission, and the process of delinking those numbers are also cumbersome. Listen to some victims who have been who have had several numbers registered on their Ghana cards. Well, we'll hear from those people later, but we've been joined by a lawyer and data privacy and information security practitioner, Desmond Israel. He'll be telling us more. Mr. Israel, I'm grateful for your time this afternoon. First, how do you react to news that many customers of the telcos are finding out their Ghana cards have been linked to unapproved numbers?
It comes to me as not a big surprise. If you remember, I've been on this issue on your network twice, one with you and the other with your colleague on the Joy Geek Squad. Essentially, I had questioned the design of the system and whether it could actually assure some level of integrity. Hindsight has just unveiled that we have a process gap in there, which allows people to clandestinely register additional SIM numbers to already existing Ghana card holders' information.
Yeah.
So what I actually suspect is happening is that when you go through the USSD service, which is it's a bare bones service, it doesn't have much in terms of security features. I mean, people who do these things will tell you when you try to use the USSD, the system is designed such that at the point of adding the additional phone number, an OTP, which is the on-time password, is sent to the one that is adding the new number, who then authenticates, and then the registration is complete. Essentially, also on the registration, you can just enter your Ghana card details without any system level validation. The only validation that is done is for the OTP that is received by the number, which actually completes the process. That's where I think that there's some sort of vulnerability. Call it a logic flaw, which is usually the technical term for these things, with the process design itself, because this OTP has to come to the original person who registered the Ghana card number, what we call the primary contact verification. So the primary contact verification should have been, if Desmond registered the Ghana card, the initial number Desmond used at the KYC to register the Ghana card number should automatically be linked such that if you want to add additional numbers, the OTP must be sent back to the primary contact verification number, which was originally registered with the Ghana card. And that would allow Desmond to assess if he was actually adding additional numbers to his Ghana card. Unfortunately, this is not there by the current design of the process, and therefore anybody at all could actually start the USSD process And then when it gets to the point where they need to authenticate with the OTP is sent to the number. So obviously, a clandestine linkage of the number can be done on the background without the original holder of the Ghana card having any indication that this is happening. And I think that's not the best way to go with such a system. Essentially, it definitely breaches data integrity. I've read a few and heard a few comments that is trying to challenge that, and I think that they are not paying attention to the issues. But it actually goes back to the matter of data protection, which has a very core principle about data integrity and data security.
That's where I'm going. That's where I'm taking this conversation to, because in fact, the delinking process itself has proven to be cumbersome. And worst of it is the breach that you talk about, the breach of trust between clients and the telcos. Are there legal ramifications that customers can explore?
Okay, well, I tread cautiously to want to say there's that breach of trust with the telcos per se. Even though they are also actors, you can call them agents of the registration process. But I think that the trust that is breached here is more of we having a system as a country that allows somebody to own SIM card that is actually matched to my identity. So essentially, you're saying that I own SIM cards that I don't own, right? And that the regulator would have to stand up to. It is the responsibility of the regulator and all these agents that are actors under the law to get these registrations done. It is their duty, it is their responsibility. Indeed, I would have even expected that the Data Protection Commission would be interested in this matter, because it also goes back to what we call data subject access rights, where I should be able to know what sort of modifications about this information, and it has to be consistent with the realities of the data subject. Unfortunately, this is not what we have, and you have to go back through this process to have these numbers linked, and so long as people are be able to still add numbers to the system, or even the existing numbers, if they are used in any form or shape to undertake any activity at all that maligns the original card holder, you have actually put the card holder's identity in jeopardy, and that is where identity theft actually is of a concern. Concerning the telcos themselves, I know that when it comes to SIM authentication center and all these other components of the service delivery for you, they are not in any way linked to the registration. The connection between all SIMs and the registration is to prove that somebody owns the SIM, but it doesn't go into your service delivery and your billing and like people have tried to suggest SIM swap and all that. It doesn't. Technically, it doesn't, because I've looked at the structure. But the problem still is we developing a system. Of course, we have a regulator who was in charge of this, which is the NIA. So we delivering a system to people that allows others to own SIM cards in their name. That is what we've actually done, and I think it's pretty much something that would be an interesting subject of conversation.
So subscribers have no option than to just watch on while this is being done to them.
No, subscribers who intend to take on the powers that be, the institutions that be, for the right reasons, I want to believe that they should be able to do that. We have a number of legal frameworks for this on which they can proceed to. Fortunately, the mandatory SIM registration was not necessarily a voluntary action. It was a mandatory action which was backed by law. It gave room for certain, if you like, safeguards to be put in place. We have data privacy laws. We have laws under Electronic Communications Act and the rest. But you would want to really look at the issues and find out where your course of action would lie. But as a practitioner, as a legal practitioner, as somebody who understands the space also, I wouldn't say that subscribers do not have any chance of taking on issues they want to. More importantly, I would like to see the organizations and the
NCA.
Exactly. Thank you. The NCA and the NIA coming forth, to actually get things together and get things done right. The delisting process, I understand, is the first level of mitigation to cut down the risk. So, of course, that could go into some of the defenses of, okay, so we found it and we are taking steps to do this and we are taking steps to do that. But I don't think that it's enough at this stage. They would probably have to look at the design of the system and give further assurances against any additional chances that this could happen again.
Grateful for your time, Desmond Israel. He's a lawyer in data privacy and information security practitioner, and he's been speaking about the NCA and the re-registration exercise and the matters arising. Now, 15 out of 21 banks that have released their 2022 audited financial statement registered losses. These record losses are as a result of the domestic debt exchange program, which triggered the investment assets to be impaired. There's more in this News Desk report.
Consolidated Bank was the biggest casualty, recording about 2 billion cedis losses in 2022. Indeed, the local banks were the biggest losers. But the good thing is that they have swiftly recovered in Q1 of this year, recording some good profits. The 6 banks that recorded profit last year included GT Bank, Societe Generale, FBN Nigeria, and UBA. For impaired assets, Absa Bank was the biggest loser, writing off 2.12 billion cedis. It was followed by Consolidated and GT Bank, which also wrote off 2.11 and 2.08 billion cedis respectively. FBN Bank, Bank of Africa, and Omni BSIC were the least affected. With regards to the capital adequacy ratio, which is a key financial soundness indicator, Consolidated Bank fell far below the industry threshold. FBN Nigeria, Access, and GT Bank, however, recorded the largest capital adequacy ratio of 57, 37, and 36% respectively in the banking industry. Joy Business had earlier reported that banks in Ghana lost about 15 billion cedis in 2022 due to the domestic debt exchange program.
Banking consultant Christian Techijan tells Joy News if the situation is not checked, it could have dire consequences on the economy. He spoke to me on News Desk.
It doesn't look good looking at what the figures are presented to us. If you have just about 5 or 6 banks out of the total 23 that are making profits, it doesn't look good. But in hindsight, you can give them a bit of a respite, and it's not too dire of a situation as it is being made. If you look at it with impairment, normally, so far as there is a risk associated with a particular investment, then we can make provision for it. But with the provisioning, definitely, so far as government with the rescheduled bonds, the bonds that are going to be paid later, so far as they start coming in, government starts making those payments, they all come back into the profitability kitty, where certainly whatever it's coming in will come back in a form of other income that will affect the bottom line. So it doesn't look good on the picture, but then hindsight, it is not too dire of a situation because these are bonds that have been rescheduled. So far as they come in, they'll be reclassified and the money will come back into other income for it to affect the bottom line. For the banking public, there's been a lot of backlash.
The Attorney General is worried about the slow court processes regarding the prosecution of cases relating to illegal mining pending before them across the country. He is urging cooperation from the judiciary to swiftly deal with such cases and bring closure to those matters. A total of 119 criminal cases involving the prosecution of about 727 individuals for offenses in connection with illegal mining or galamsey in the country have been pending at the High Court and some circuit courts for close to 2 years. My colleague Blessed Soga has more on the AG's concerns.
For instance, is one of the leading areas where there are pending cases. For instance, in Koforidua, the Attorney General talks about as many as 50 cases that are pending in that part of the country. Then we come to, for instance, the Western region, which has about 33 cases which are currently being prosecuted in the likes of areas such as Takwa and Second D. And following or coming after the Western region is the Ashanti region, which has a total number of 23 cases that are also pending in that part of the country. But for the Upper East and Northern parts, they are sharing 3 and 1 respectively, where the cases are being held in Tamale and Bolga. But there's also the, of course, Upper East region, which has some 7 cases also being heard. So in all, it appears that the Attorney General is pointing to over 100 cases that are still pending, a reason for which he is raising some concerns about the slow nature of the court processes and is demanding some sort of cooperation from the judiciary as well if we're to win this fight against it. Well, he's been giving a breakdown of the cases, and aside that has been pointing to some strange activities, in his view, which is taking place within the judiciary. First of all, his concern has got to do with how slow the pace of prosecution is. Then beyond that as well, normally you know that when someone is found culpable of engaging in illegal mining, they're still entitled to their bail conditions. He argues that these individuals or corporates or the accused persons, once they meet the bail conditions, find a way of leaving or sneaking out of the country. In his view, these are some of the issues that are affecting his fight against illegal mining, a reason for which there'll be a need for the judiciary to cooperate with his side to effectively tackle what's happening. No fixed timelines, except to say that he's pointed out to some new regulations and laws that, for instance, the president has given further boost to, which he believes will be a game changer in the fight against illegal mining. Beyond that as well, he's asking for some sort of multi-stakeholder approach that will coordinate the effort. So you don't have the AG going out alone to prosecute these individuals, but we have all state institutions coming together so that we effectively tackle the menace that we have facing.
And on new election headquarters, supporters of a parliamentary aspirant for the NDC primary in the Bosome-Freho constituency in the Ashanti region are suspecting foul play in its vetting process. The vetting committee suspended the process to clear Godfred Alhassan Bokbin after raising issues with his party membership. The aspirant, however, alleges the party is taking sides in an attempt to deliberately deny him opportunity to contest the primary. Love FM's Nana Boachi Yadom Hasmo.
The vetting committee of the NDC has failed to clear Godfred Alhassan Bogin from contesting against incumbent party chairman of the Bosome-Freho constituency. It is alleged there are issues with his membership and loyalty to the party. Flanked by several supporters who gathered at the regional office of the NDC, Alhassan Bogin said the party must ensure an open contest and not deliberately take him out.
They should allow fairness to take its course. So that at the end of the day, whatever we are all hoping and fighting for, which is the Bosome-Freho seat, to be able to better the lives of the people, is all we are asking. At the same time, how we can increase the votes of a flag bearer, presidential flag bearer, is all we are interested in. So we don't want anything to distract this agenda. All we are asking is that they should fast-track things and ensure that fairness takes its course.
Supporters of the aspirant say they will resist any directive to disqualify their candidate.
Regional office, the regional office because of GAP. Fans of GAP.
We came here to support GAP. We need him to be our member of parliament for more developmental projects.
Because baby, I far east, you will crash and can't grab. I am papa bet me a boy, then punto a coso and see for Honomo. If they penny for now, almost Asian on per se, Omuye Catastrophe, no Mukai, Pan Eshe. No, nipa no in contest no. Wa baye bida. I say, chairman, ye improvement bia. Here is the case yenya ajinkwa na say or no never be free or how ni amanye enyinemu. Ye friend ajinkwa.
Our leaders want to deliberately disqualify our candidate. His opponents did not do anything as chairman of the party for the constituency.
Let's now turn our attention to Ningo Prampram, where incumbent MP Sam George is preparing for the battle of his life. A former constituency chairman, Michael Tatakwete, is gaining grounds, vowing to unseat Sam George. Asante looks ahead to what will be a contentious primary.
Sam George is coming up against a very resourceful Michael Tatakwete, who was once chairman of the constituency. Sam George is framing this election on experience, as he says his opponent does not have what it takes to beat the NPP to retain the Ningo Prampram seat for the NDC.
Say follow who know, Mambi. We are choosing experience over experiment. Chapin na menake akaye dabi wakenena peko ye na walele na enya experiment mishe loloji na gana bi wape na muna yo epe nsoshe wawo wakale TV na wawo black and white.
His opponent, meanwhile, a media-shy Michael Tatakwete, is slowly warming up to delegates in the constituency, as was evident in the cheers he received when John Mahama visited the constituency.
We have Honorable Samuel Jata George as one of the aspirants. Thank you. Your Excellency, again, we also have Michael Tatakwete, one of the aspirants. Thank you.
With just 2 weeks to this election, some branch executives in the constituency, numbering about 54, say despite having been elected, they are yet to be sworn in, alleging this is a ploy to favor a specific candidate.
We are here because we know as every 4 years we have to, as the NDC executives, everybody has to go through vetting, and when we are through, we have to go for an election. And some of these branches, there are 6 branches that they have to contest. And some of them went through vetting and they are unopposed. That is 2 branches. And the other 4 branches have to be going through election. But all of a sudden, the constituency executives and some of the people said they have been disqualified, which we don't even understand the reason why. From here, we are waiting for National to make sure they reinstate that branches. That's the reason why we are waiting for them to call us.
Oh, we are just here to get things done properly so that we have peace, to have the understanding to continue to work for NDC to win power 2024.
We are throwing challenge to them to know that they should refer that 6 branches back to work for us so that we can go and win our victory. Without that 6 branch, I don't think that voting on the 13th will come on. We are not going to allow that.
The Ningo Prampram seat is one of the safest NDC seats in the Greater Accra region. The party has won it every single election since it was created in 1996. And that is what makes the party primaries even cagey, because both candidates are aware there will be one step in parliament if they win their primaries. With both candidates determined to defeat the other, and with some party delegates accusing the party of scheming to favor one candidate over the other, the Ningo Prampram primary will be one of the most keenly contested and one that could potentially bring up massive political shocks. For Joy News, Asante.
We're still live on Joy News today. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlimli. Let's take a break. When we return, we'll bring you the very latest coming from the world of business.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Some players in the real estate sector have criticized the high interest on lending rates by some local banks. According to President of Casa Baza Building and Construction firm, John William Adele, local banks should be cushioned by government to support the sector. Speaking to Joy Business at the launch of the company in Accra, he called for enforcement of existing laws within the real estate sector to attract investors.
According to Statista in 2020, real estate in Ghana contributed around 1.6 billion Ghana cedis, roughly $264.3 million to the country's gross domestic product. This was an increase from the preceding year when approximately 1.4 billion Ghana cedis, roughly $230.2 million were registered. However, with the hikes in taxes, President of Casa Baza Building and Construction firm, John Adele, said government should support these banks to lend to the players within the sector at a lower interest rate.
It is. The government is helping. They are working behind the scene, but we are hoping that the banking system, which can push the real estate companies to do more affordable houses too, is good. I know we know that they are helping, but they still have to do more. You can't just put your money, a lot of money, huge amount in something and just leave it there. So you need somebody to take care of that property for you. That's why Casa Baza, we have chipped in to help and do that job. Look, we are lucky to have a very different business model. Ours, we don't build house to sell. We don't work to get the land. You have your land. So when we are working, we know who the customer is, and everything is secure. So first, the person has his or her land, and we're doing it for you, and it has been already bought. Let me say that because it belongs to you, we know. So we cut most of the challenges. We cut it off. So surely there is still some challenges to face, cost of the materials, cost of the labor and other things are there, but we're still going forward little by little.
Casa Baza is one of the top expansion team of the largest real estate company in Ghana and Africa.
Now, the Microfinance Institutions Network is expressing worry over the proliferation of online advertisements of some financial institutions that have no physical presence. According to the association, these institutions pose a threat to many unsuspecting customers online and must be avoided. Executive Director Yao Jemfi spoke to Joy Business at a workshop on financial literacy in the Central Region.
With the association, we have representation all over the country. And then there are also what we call mini task force that we use, where we've asked some of the financial institutions to prompt us whenever they see new financial institutions coming up. And then when they see the new products, they should let us know so that we can also double check if these people actually have the permission of the central bank to deploy those kind of products. Again, at the lower level, there are some people who open institutions without getting license. So we've been on the lookout for those kind of institutions to make sure that we don't have any foreign type of institution coming into the system and calling themselves microfinance or anything.
All right, more business news coming up on the marketplace. Up next, sports.
Let's do sports now. On Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah. Ghanaian athlete James Dazir has qualified for this year's World Athletics Championships to be staged in Hungary, Budapest. James Dazir, over the weekend, ran a world lead of 19.79 seconds in the crucial shootout athletics championship that took place in the USA. The former University of Ghana student has been speaking to my colleague George Adejina, and he says he's surprised he's been able to clock sub-20.
It's been really great. Like I feel very happy. So I don't believe I actually ran that time, but I feel really great booking my spot to World Championship because proud to that meet. I told my coach that, sir, look, this is the only chance I got. I'm gonna take on the double, no matter what it takes. I don't know what might work out for me. And I went there, I hit the 100, and then I really felt bad when the win was up by 3.2. Then he was like, "Do you still want to take the 200?" I said, like, yes. I don't know what might happen. I might get a legal win and then book my spot. He said, okay, let's go get a job done. And then it went very well. And then he was surprised. And then we're all amazed that it came to pass, that the idea that I brought up really helped. And then now I've booked my spot.
Yeah. Clearly, you realized that you had won the race. But tell me about the moment when you checked the actual time.
When I saw 19.79, I wasn't happy. I was checking about the win. I wasn't able to celebrate because I was thinking about the win. So it was there that the assistant coach came by and said, "You had a legal win," and then I was very, very excited.
He was very, very excited to have qualified for the World Athletics Championships that will happen later. And before the 19.79 seconds race that he did, he had area run 9.89 seconds in the 100 meters. That one was illegal because of a wind of plus 3.2. And Ghana Premier League, Parkway Filmon has berated matchday referee for his size game against Kotoku Royals. According to him, the referee manufactured decisions that gave Royals a point.
Not the result I'm looking for, but I'm really highly disappointed in the referee in the second half. Because every ball that we came to tackle, it's a foul against us. Look at the number of free kicks he gave them in the second half. Is that how we want to champion the league? It's very bad. Well, sometimes it happens in the game. You can get chances and miss them. But we scored one, and we were playing well until the referee changed all of a sudden in the second half, giving them free kicks upon free kicks around the 18. For what? Even it's all the slightest tackle, foul. Slightest tackle, foul. Why?
Now, with this result, do you fancy your chances in picking up probably the glory, winning the league?
Well, we'll take one game at a time. But I'm really, really disappointed in the referee today. Very disappointed. I never talk about referees, but I'm highly disappointed in him for what he has done today.
That's your sports for now. We do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com.
Welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News. And our family, friends, and fans gathered at the Polo Beach Club at the weekend to celebrate the release of Stonebwoy's Fifth Dimension album release. Here is all you've missed.
It's been in the works, and I know he's said very little about it, and I know that when he does that, and it means something deep is coming out. And so for me, I've been waiting for this day, just to get a taste, to get a hear of what's in the album, and I know there's going to be something big, and that's what brought me out here.
The industry is amazing. It grows day by day, and I'm very happy to see Stonebwoy with his people, Stonebwoy with his fans. The album is unique, it's nice. I've not been able to listen to all 17, but I have some favorites in there, and I think it's good, and I think that it is projecting Ghana in the right way.
Well, I think regardless of the fact that dancehall has a culture, and then people have known us for the rivalry, I think it's for, if we have a united front, that's the only way we can push to the world. And me and Stonebwoy, it's not even about music or the lifestyle. We are brothers, like behind closed doors, We talk every day, so this is what we need.
I'm from the Western region. We love fun, and we enjoy culture. We appreciate what is Ghanaian. And when people are playing music people enjoy. Music that uplift the people's spirit, Uncle. We want to join, we want to be part of. And this is one occasion that I want to be part of. Stoneboy's album that he wants to launch. I'm so glad I am here. I respect him, I love his music, I enjoy listening to it, and he's a gentleman also on the stage.
Change to you on your new album.
Yeah.
You've practically toured the world with this particular album. Are you fulfilled now that it's out?
There's a lot of work to be done post-release, so now we're about to start the work for after release. But so far, pre-release, bro, we've done the most. And you guys know, you guys see, and I know that the fans and the masses appreciate it, because we need to put in such efforts into making sure that we move the thing up. So I'm so happy and I'm grateful for life, because I tell you what, there's so much improvement and there's been so much elevation, focused, and we want to take things to the next level, which is the fifth dimension. So it gives me a lot of joy. It gives me, I'm grateful, but fulfillment lies in the hands of the Lord, you know what I mean? He's the only one who makes everything fulfilled. We just have to do our duty, so I'm just doing my own.
That'll be all for Showbiz here on Joy News today. There's more Showbiz news in our subsequent bulletins, also on myjoyonline.com. Serena Williams announces she is pregnant with baby number 2. This and a lot more on that channel. That'll be all for Showbiz here.
And Chioma shares.
Yeah. So when you log on to myjoyonline.com, you get.
Well, there's also more news there. That's how we end the bulletin. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Enjoy the rest of our program.